Thanks for staying with us. So it's Tuesday, we got to touch on something healthy. So Saturday, 20th of August, was National Mosquito Day. You ever even know it existed? The theme for this year's commemoration is No Mosquito, No Malaria. Now, joining us on the show is the National President, Pest Control Association of Nigeria, PCO, Mr. Olakunle Williams. He'll be discussing the importance of eradicating mosquitoes from our environment. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Morayo.
Good to have you on the show. So,
yeah,
how do we eradicate mosquitoes? I know malaria is still an ongoing issue in Africa where we're trying to eradicate malaria completely. But we can't do that without getting rid of mosquitoes. And I know that part of the pest control initiative is to put chemicals in the air to kill mosquitoes. Now, and I have an environmental enthusiast next to me. Yes. She's thinking, okay, how do we eradicate without polluting the air in our country?
Thank you very much, Mariah. Yes, malaria or mosquito elimination would be approached, through so many ways. And then one of the ones we are advocating as an association is integrated vector management, which encompasses other kinds of applications apart from chemicals. Just like you said, but we know WHO has approved what you call LASAL source management. LASAL source management means that all the sources of the mosquito breeding sites should be taken into consideration. And by that, we mean that drainages and stagnant water or all receptacles around the house should be gotten cleared. Most importantly, the drainages. And of course, on Saturday was the World Mosquito Day, which was celebrated simultaneously in Lagos and Abuja by the association, whereby we went out into some communities to sensitize and create awareness, and also show them how to make the environment a mosquito-free one by clearing their drainages and at the right time, and also taking away any receptacle, any container that could cause the breeding of mosquitoes.
Okay, so for me, I see that with Nigeria, Africa in general, we're still struggling with this mosquito problem. Do you know what this? I know that you just mentioned some things. We've heard them since we were in primary school, clear your drainages. But what can we do, maybe at government level, that would give us the success that other countries that have gotten, that have recorded successes in this way? What are the things that they have done that we can learn to do individually, as a community and as a government?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. That's a very interesting one. We want to use this opportunity to congratulate the President, our President Muhammadu Buhari, on the inauguration of the End Malaria Council, which was inaugurated about a week ago. And I'm talking about maybe new innovations in tackling this menace. You could see now that the private sector, which we represent as well, is being brought to bear. The council is chaired by Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who also happens to be a malaria vector partner of the association. And I think this is the right step to go, whereby you're now bringing in resources from the private sector and harnessing and all stakeholders in the industry or in the area of tackling malaria and controlling mosquitoes. And this is a good development in the country, and I believe that with the partnership, especially in issues concerning the environment. And also, this also reminds us of the intervention by the Ministry of Environment. There was a press briefing yesterday on on mosquito by the Honorable Minister of Environment. And we hope that with this new developments, we'll get a lot of success in the fight against malaria.
Okay, sir. So in this talk of eradicating mosquito, I know we've had this issue since I was very young. I've been hearing mosquito, something has to be done, the government doing something about mosquito.
Malaria.
Is there any, malaria and mosquito, all of them together. Is there any way that the conversation is tilting towards probably getting vaccines that would help, especially young children, you know, so that they don't die as much as they do? Because the rural areas are the ones that suffer most especially, and we are endemic to these mosquitoes in this country. It may take us a longer time if we keep, you know, going by all these our programs and projects. Any conversation on vaccines?
Absolutely. WHO has developed a vaccine for malaria and has approved, rather, a vaccine for malaria. And the trials are being done in some parts of Africa, including Ghana. And those trials have just been concluded, and it was quite successful. So I think gradually the WHO would first of all start with the trial countries in distributing these vaccines, and then maybe much later go to some other other countries like Nigeria.
Okay.
But definitely there has been a successful trial of the vaccine for malaria.
All right, let me go ahead.
So let's talk about what you're doing to bring this to the grassroots, because every time when we hear, you know, mosquito, no malaria day, we hear it from, you know, bodies like your own. People talk about it, but when I drive out of here now into Abuja Market, the women are still, you know, leaving stagnant water open and all of that. It's almost like the information is for the people who know better, and they're not reaching the people who need the information the most. So what exactly are you doing on this day to take the awareness into the corner, the grassroots?
Okay, thank you very much. Earlier on, I referred to what we had on the 20th of August, the Pest Control Association of Nigeria, in partnership with the Rotary Club of Nigeria and the Environmental Health Officers Registration Council, EHORECON, went in Lagos. We were in Ikate, in the Ikate suburb of Surulere, where you have a very high endemic state of malaria because of the drainages. And we were there to help them to clear the drainages. And also our members were there to help in evacuating, and not just clearing the drainages and the canal. We had a compactor that was donated by a member, and which we used in cutting away some of this refuse. And of course, we used this opportunity to reach out to the refuse disposal agencies to also support these communities. We also, Rotary also donated mosquito nets, and we also made them aware of what they can do on their own, apart from government, in support of government, in making sure that the environment is sanitized.
Let me ask you this
will reduce the
question,
breeding points of mosquito.
As the president of Pest Control of Nigeria, and the pest is beyond just mosquitoes. We have rodents, we have all sorts of other animals, bugs that could be infectious to Nigerians. As the president of this association, what would you advise? Yes, we have heard of the using mosquito nets. We've had the don't get rid of stagnant water. The issue of rodents, especially, we've heard of Lassa fever being caused by this, the rodents we have, or the trash and all that. I want you to speak to domestically now, like in the homes. What can we do? Because people, we want to use the sprays. They tell you, oh, it's not healthy for children.
It's choky.
You're asthmatic. So what can we do? How often should we fumigate? How do we know when we need... I mean, are roaches a problem? Are they part of the house? The wall geckos, are they bad for you? You know, we have superstition. There's so many issues. I want you to bring the conversation to domestic, everyday happenings. How do we get rid of rodents? How do we manage the wall geckos? Do we need to leave them to eat the insects, or we have to kill them like many Nigerians do? Or how do we, use the, what do they call that thing?
Insecticides.
Insecticides, thank you. How best do we do this?
Okay, thank you very much. The innovation in pest management has a lot to do with sanitation, and we call it integrated pest management. It's IPM. IPM has included on cleaning, waste disposal, and apart from chemical approaches. So chemical approaches are always the last resort. If your environment is very clean and you dispose your refuse at the right time, you cover your garbage cans, and you remove food sources. Most of these vector pests would not come, because basically what they come in to do is to try and survive and feed on whatever you have around. You remove the water sources, you remove food sources, your dust bins should be covered. Chemical approaches are always the last resort. If there's an infestation of any, in case of rats, of course, you know, most of these vectors they're carriers of diseases. You have rodents, you have cockroaches, you have mosquitoes, you have flies. And what we advise people is that when you have to seek the services of professionals, you need to make sure that you're not bringing in quacks into your homes, whereby you'd use you can get endangered. So please patronize accredited and licensed pest control consultants.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I think it was a pleasure having you on the show. We appreciate the No Mosquito, No Malaria celebration that will happen, I think, on the 20th of August to commemorate Mosquito Day. We never knew actually knew existed. But thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the show this morning. It was a pleasure having you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, no mosquito. Do you have any comments on social media we'd like to take? Before we wrap up the show, we have a few minutes left.
Yeah, some people are saying that we're still talking about mosquito in 2022. Another person said that there's mosquito in Texas. It's just that he doesn't feel those type of mosquitoes, they give malaria. So I don't know. But I think it's, we need to do more than just the talk. I'm more worried about people who are in places where they can't even access even the mosquito nets. Those rural areas, people who stay on water, those are the real areas where
I think the
children die of malaria regularly. And we need to capture those people more.
I think those people actually have a lot of mosquito nets. They've tried, a lot of all these international organizations actually go in to give quite a number of these things. But the more the merrier.
Yeah, so in 2022, what I would really like to hear when we're talking about malaria and mosquitoes is just find new, innovative, environmentally friendly ways that we can do this. We can't keep talking about mosquito nets and mosquito. I just feel that there has to be something we can do. When you mention vaccines, that has to be the way forward. The way forward.
What of just cleanliness? Just us being clean. Like just wake up in the morning, close your trash, tie it up, put it in the big trash outside. You know, people just leave their trash up and they just empty it in the dustbin and leave it open. Of course, flies and all sorts of vectors will come on. So there are ways of managing your trash.
It is to personally enforce cleanliness in the house if you live with others. So I think that the public enforcement we had growing up, where you could not have stagnant water around, gutters were compulsorily, sanitation days were compulsorily cleaned. Thursdays markets were compulsorily cleaned. Those enforcements are no longer, people just sit at home on Thursdays.
They're there, but nobody's enforcing.
But nobody's enforcing. So
I remember Nigerians coming out to we said it was against our human rights to be asked to stay back
somebody
on
went
Saturday
to court
to clean up our environment.
We don't know where to stand most of the time.
All right, ladies, I think that's all we can take on the show today. But I think really, before we end, it's important for us to remind ourselves, yes, there's one thing an association can do to celebrate no mosquito, no malaria. That's an association.
Awareness.
There's one thing government can do. But there's another thing that we must do. Cleanliness, taking care of our trash. No, don't have stagnant water around, protecting the children, especially those in the neighborhoods. Instead of going around all the time buying rice and chicken for poor communities, buy mosquito nets. Those are things that are very more effective, things that they actually need. Those things help to protect them from malaria because malaria is deadly.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
deadly.
it is. Yes.